Hey guys, so today we're gonna continue our series on preview of the Astros 2025 lineup. We started in left field. We talked about how we really don't know who's going to play left field. There's talk about Jose Altuve. I talked about maybe Zach DeCinzo playing a little left field. Don't know about that. Um, uh, uh, and maybe a free agent. We'll address left field a little bit in this video, but we're really focusing on right field today. And to start in right field, I want to talk about Jacob Melton. So Jacob Melton's Astros number one prospect. He's only played 47 games in the AAA level, as you can see here, 192 plate appearances. But he's a top level prospect, a guy with a lot of speed, very good defensively, can hit with a lot of power, uh, steal some bases for you. So he's a five tool player. He can do it all, and very bright future for him. He's 24 years old. He's got 2 full years of minor league experience. Don't know if he can make a transition directly to the major leagues this year. As you can see, he hit 260 in AAA last year with 5 home runs over 192 at bats. Scored a lot of runs, but major league pitching is very difficult to hit, and making that jump from AAA to major leagues can be difficult on guys. So we'll see where he goes and how he does. Don't know if he'll make this team out of spring training. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. My guess is he starts in AAA, and we will see him at some point in 2025, but not to start the season. Um, when we come down here to Jacob's stats, starts by position, you can see the vast majority of his starts are in center field over his minor league career, 128 total games with 125 games started. But he has started 46 games in right field, which is his second most. Um, so I do think if he starts the season in AAA, we'll probably see him more in right field. And you're going to see Jake Myers in center field for the Astros, and they want Jake and Melton when he comes up to take over in right field. Which brings me to Chas McCormick. So to start the season, at least, I expect to see Chas McCormick as everyday right fielder for the Astros. I don't think there's really another option there. And as we know, in 2024, he really struggled. Um, and I want to take a look at his bat speed and his fast swing rate comparison between 23 and 24. And what I really think is Chas McCormick doesn't have average bat speed. His bat speed's a little bit below average. He was able to do a lot of things in 23 with that bat speed and really overperform. And we'll talk about why here in a minute. But the biggest difference here that I want you to see is that even though his bat speed isn't elite, his fast swing rate was up over 3% in 24 over what it was in 23, which tells me he's over swinging. Now, that's not anywhere near the league average, but you have to remember the guys that are swinging at that 22.7 league average bat speed are capable of swinging at 75 miles an hour on a consistent basis. Chaz's swing isn't as quick, isn't as fast. He's not going to have that type of bat speed. So when he overswings, it hurts his overall swing. Um, and he's not able to make consistent contact. And as you can see here, uh, in 23, the blue bell curve, his bat speed was actually a little higher, um, but it's a more smooth swing. It's a better swing. You get a more uniform bell curve on it, which is what you want. You want a nice, consistent swing. And what that did for him, if you look here in 23, I'll replay this on baseballsavant.com so we can see the 23 stats. He had a nice consistent swing, and you see right here that launch angle sweet spot was 38.4%. That's 91 percentile in the overall major league, and that allowed him to hit 273, hit 22 home runs um, over the course of that season. I don't think he's going to be a type of guy that can continue to have a 91% launch angle sweet spot percentage, but it's possible there are guys in the league that do even better than that. So he can do that. But to do that, he's got to have a nice, consistent swing. Quit trying to do too much. Stay within yourself and execute your swing, execute your game plan. So here's another thing that shows me that Chas was pressing a little bit in 24 and kind of got away from his game, which is something Joe Espada talked about um, during his press conference the other day at spring training. Um, you're going to go down here and look at his plate discipline. So if we see from 23 to 24, his zone swing percentage we're looking right here at 23 is 70.6, and it goes up to 74.4 in um in 24. So he's swinging at more pitches inside the zone. Uh, and but his overall zone contact rate, because his swing's not nice and consistent, he's over swinging and he's trying to make that faster swing, actually went down to 74.4%. So he's swinging at more pitches and hitting the ball less. Another thing I want to look at is chase rate. So he swung at 33.6% of pitches out of the zone. And I'll show you a graphic in a minute where really he struggled on the inside pitch out of the zone, um, and swung at that a lot more than he has historically over his career in 2024. And that chase contact percentage really didn't change, but he made more outs chasing the ball in 24 than he did in 23. And that's a problem. Also, want to look at his first pitch swing percentage right here. We're talking 43.4% in 24 versus 35.7% in 23. And over his career, you can see that's gone up. So my prognosis here is one, Chas is overswinging. He's trying to swing too hard, do too much with the ball. He needs to relax and stay within himself. And two, he's swinging at too many pitches. He needs to allow, even take a strike or two, settle down, get to see the pitch, and come up with a game plan against the pitcher as the at bat progresses. Obviously, when you come up that first pitch, you've really got to do what I call keyholing. You want to pick your spot, your pitch. If it's not there, you take it, you let it go. You got two more strikes to work with. And then as you work the count a little bit, you can expand. And once again, you get two strikes, you got to protect and try to stay alive and make the pitcher throw a pitch that you can hit. But that first pitch, unless it's right there on a tee, something you really want to take a good swing at, let it go. Don't get your first pitch swing percentage up in the 40% range. That's just not a good recipe for success. So I want to see Chas kind of relax and take a few more pitches, see the pitch, and not overswing as much this year. So I do want to take a look at one other thing, and that's his zones. So you look here at the swing percentage by zone, and this is in 23. He was 41% down and in the swing percentage by zone, and 29% up and in. And in 24, um, that went to 40% on that up and in, and 49% on that down and in. So we had an increase of 11% in the high and inside zone, and 9% in the low and inside zone. Um, or I'm sorry, 8% in the low and inside zone. So that's really where he's getting himself out. And if you look at his batting average uh, zones, he actually has good batting average zones right here when the pitches are in the zone and when he has the pitcher coming to him. The problem is chasing outside of the zone and getting himself out. And in 23, he had an even better batting average by zone. We'll go back and look at that. But once again, with that overswinging, swinging at first pitches way too often, swinging even at pitches in the zone, that's a very high swing percentage, and not being able to execute his swing on a regular basis, he's really hurting himself. So we can look at batting average by zone, and a little bit, and this is in 23, a little bit worse here on the outside, but look at that pitch on the inside part of the plate that he's really able to handle. The problem is in 24, he allowed them to get in off the plate on him, and he got himself out. He needs to bring that ball back in the zone and be able to make solid contact on these pitches in the zone. And if he does that, he'll be more successful. He's not going to see his 23 numbers, but I really think if you look at his career numbers, uh, in 2022, he had 14 home runs. He hit 245. Very similar numbers in 21. And we can go back to that screen, to the standard batting screen, and see his 21 numbers as well. So he had 14 home runs, 50 RBIs, 14 home runs, 44 RBIs in 22. And that was over really only maybe 2/3 of a season. So we could realistically see over 162 game season, a 20 home run, maybe 60, 70 RBIs out of Chas McCormick. Outside of his struggles at the plate last year, he's an elite fielder. He's had elite fielding metrics. He runs fast, not a great arm, but he has great range. He reads the ball well. He can he has a above average, outs above average. He's in the 87th percent, as you can see there. in 23, and his outs above average was down a little bit in 24. I think he struggled overall in 24, but still his fielding run value was in, the 65th percentile. So he's above average. He's got Jake Myers in center to help him out. I don't think Jake Myers is going anywhere. And if even if Jake Melton does come up and plays right field, Chaz can play left, and he actually has more career starts in left field than he does in right field, and maybe that'll help the Astros outfield out quite a bit. You can see maybe a mixture of Chas McCormick, maybe DeZenzo, maybe somebody else, maybe Jose Altuve in left field, Melton maybe holding down right. And try and get a good mixture of guys in there to fill in this outfield. I think Myers has a real good handle. He's worth a lot of value defensively in center, so don't want to move him. Right field, left field are big question marks here. I think Chaz can really try to settle down, take some pitches, stay in the zone, and execute a consistent swing, and get back to those 21 and 22 numbers and be an asset to this team in 2025. And then maybe Jacob Melton, or I didn't talk about Cam Smith, and some of the other guys in the minor leagues that can come up and maybe help the rest of the outfield situation for the Astros. I know a lot of you are saying maybe Mauricio Dubon as well. I see him as a utility player. He will play in the outfield. He will get some starts in the outfield, but the Astros really need him to play all over the field and be able to give guys breaks, get them into the DH role maybe from time to time, get guys days off when they need them, or if somebody, unfortunately faces injury, which over 162 game season, somebody is going to face an injury, he can fill in for them there as well. So I don't think he's going to be an everyday answer in the outfield, but he will see some playing time all over the field, just like he has in the past. He's an lead fielder, and he can, he may be slightly below average hitter, but he can hit a little bit as well. So that's my synopsis on, I think, Chas McCormick in right field for now. Maybe somebody comes up and pushes him to left. They play right, and Chaz plays left, which isn't a bad thing. And I really do think that he can get improve on his 2024 offensive numbers. I don't expect the 23 numbers, but maybe a 15 home run, 60, 70 RBI, 60, 70 runs scored type of guy in 2025. Thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a great day.